Okay, I try to do a lot of real talk videos on this channel, on my Mako Savage channel, often, but I never got anywhere. No one has really yet picked up on my message because, you know, I started out kind of like roasting, and that's what people want to hear. Once you start doing roasting, nobody's really going to hear much else you do. I mean, it's unfortunately like that. I might have to start a whole other channel to talk about real topics. And I'm capable of doing it. It makes me like, oh, I'm just some dumb roaster. No, folks. I'm not just some dumb roaster who has no logic, no common sense. It's just that when you start doing roasting, it's all people want to hear from you. It's all people want to see from you. People just want to see you make a fool out of yourself and hurt feelings all day and night and just roast. You know, I'm capable of a lot more than that. You know, I'm very talented with my hands. I'm great with music. You know, I love to talk about real topics, but a lot of the things that I know about is too deep for most people to understand. Like I talk about how these TV shows, as well as even the Bible, talks about what's going to happen in the future, how we're living in the past, how spirits are living timeless. They don't live in time, and that's why the future is already predicted. And they tell you in TV shows, nobody's going to listen to that and be like, wow, you know, you got a point there, Prestige. Wow, I never really thought of it like that. I never realized that. If you watch like The Simpsons and, you know, stuff like that, especially The Simpsons, they do it a lot. They're known for doing this, telling you what's already going to happen before it happens. And, you know, nobody's going to stop and, like, all these agents talking about, like, whether it's a Cynthia G's or any of these other agents out here, these fucking demons, these fucking agents telling, you know, Freemasons telling you, who would sit up there and talk about, what did she call him? Pookie, Ray Ray, and all that, you know, all that nonsense, right? But yet, what else does Cynthia say? It's something else that Cynthia G says. Dusty Beta Males. Yeah, there it is. Dusty Beta Males. With, you know, an absentee father or whatever, or a dude who has multiple children with multiple baby mamas, but yet she recently had a child, you know, with a guy who fits that, you know, who fits that narrative, who has like 5 or 6 different kids from 5 or 6 different baby mamas. So, I mean, wouldn't that make her a hypocrite? So anyway, yeah. Yeah, I watch Alec Fleming's videos sometimes, and this guy really hit home on things something that I've been talking about a lot. Absentee father, and how it hurts the black community when the kids don't have their father. And me having grown up with my father in my life active, you know, how it's made me different from the black men that I've seen online, and why I don't get along with them, how their behaviors are feminine, and I would make fun of it. And that's what all those roast videos, a lot of my roasts come from that, honestly. Because I would see a lot of these guys online act like they didn't have their father in their lives. I mean, I would love to talk about serious topics such as this more, but it's like all people really want to see is roasting, you know. I mean, that's on me for even getting into roasting, but it is what it is. Nothing I can really do about that as far as this channel right now. You know, I'm known for just what, you know, I can do so much more and talk about, you know, shit that's really serious, that's really thought provoking. But all people really want to see is me roast and hurt people's feelings and get my videos dislike bombed. Really, you know, that's all I really can do. As far as what others want to see from me, you know, I've done plenty of stuff on here, and then people will claim that I'm just MGTOW or anti-MG. You know, anti-MGTOWs want me to be cool with them. MGTOWs want me to be cool with them, but I'm not into groups. I don't truthfully consider myself part of any group. I'm just me, you know. Some things I may agree with MGTOW on, some things I may agree with anti-MGTOW on. Like, it's not. But I know where these guys are coming from, so, you know. And I think at least most of these guys are agents anyway. So, yeah. Let me play a little bit of this video in response to what he's saying.
So not too long ago, I was working on a book called The Human Zoo by Desmond Morris. It's a book that's out of print today, but that's because of what the topics are that he talks about. And one of the things he talks about is tribalism and post-tribalism, of when we turned into modernism. And so I read this book a while back, and I've been reflecting back on it. And one of the things that I wanted to point out is that you see how like 80% of women be like the way that they are, and like a good 60 to 70% of men, especially if they haven't had a particularly challenging life, can also be complete pricks, right? So you look at that perspective and you realize something, right? So it's like, who's to blame? Is it them or their parents? And so there's an interesting little idea there. But basically, I wanted to examine the idea that it's not her parents or his parents that are making the issue, but it is certainly the parenting. All right, so without putting blame on anyone, let's take a look at the way that society for the past 100 years has actually, no, more than 100 years now. Actually, it's been many, many, many generations that we've had the male out of the home working long hours. And as time has gone by, the children aren't out there working with him. Instead, they're working on school and that sort of thing, which is actually just reprogramming and indoctrinating you to become a slave, but that's a topic for another day. But basically, in a nutshell, today is a long culmination of many generations of an absent father. And I'm looking around and I realize that without the father figure, mothers can't actually properly mother their children either. You might have remembered me from a few months ago.
Now, that's true. Without the father, a mother cannot properly mother their children because both roles are needed. The mother gives the nurturing, the father gives the discipline. So I've said this a million times before. Without the father in the home, the mother is either going to be spoiling, and she's going to be doing both of these things. She's going to be just spoiling their child to death to where this little boy or girl is going to be crying and screaming everywhere to get what they want. And it's going to take them a long time to learn how to talk and you know, act normally and grow up properly somewhat. Whereas the father teaches the children to do all those things faster, you know, and think for themselves.
Comment where I said that feminism is abuse, especially that of when, you know, mothers are not telling their daughters how you get a good quality man, how you find a provider. right? Without that knowledge, of course, she's going to go playing around and fucking whatever's interesting, because that isn't going to have the same core value. You know, the value of her sex isn't taught to her, and I feel that's very abusive. And in many, many ways, I feel like having an absent father figure allows other males to be able to actually infiltrate her, whom otherwise might not be able to, had she had a strong guidance as to what male figure, you know, was. And so I look at men in the same way, who don't have a good father figure, and they become almost effeminate because they have their mother figure, which, mind you, a bad mother figure causes a really big issue too, but we're not touching on that right now. We're only focusing on the father figure, because he can't be there for his sons. He can't allow the knowledge of what he has to expand and touch his sons' lives in that way. And so for that time being, he grows up not knowing or understanding what a man actually is. And so with that being the pressure, he doesn't know how a man's supposed to behave, and thus when he does have a woman, she's not actually going to be turned on by him, no matter how good of a person he is, because he simply didn't have a father figure to tell him how it was.
Exactly. I've talked about this plenty of times. And because people are more interested in seeing me roast or do parodies, nobody ever comes to this channel and stops and say, damn, you know what? You got a point. You're onto something here. Damn, I never really thought of it like that. You know, I never really put that into perspective. It's always he's bullying online, he's talking shit, yeah. Some people like, yeah, get him. Or people who I've hurt feelings like, would dislike bomb and troll me to death. You know, and this is why I'm not as serious as I used to be on this channel. It's because that's all people want to see. And Mr. Elite might have the same problem soon enough. He's thinking about dropping the MGTOW title to do roasting, because he realizes that it's roasting that people really want to see. You know, roasting is easy views. You might get dislike bomb by roasting, but it's easy views. It's like if this live stream was about roasting, you know who would have been in here by now. You know his name. Dislike bombing and making stupid, immature comments over and over again. You know. I mean, look how quiet it is when I'm talking about something serious. When I'm not roasting, you know. When I'm actually touching on something and not just playing around. You know, it's like I'm far from stupid. It's just that people want me to be stupid. But anyhow.
It's that simple. And because she didn't have a father figure to tell her how it was, she ends up with a fuckboy, and then her kids don't get a proper guidance or direction either. You see what I'm saying? It's a perpetual cycle that seems to be caused from some sort of causation of breaking. And so I was looking at it. Who's to blame, right? Who is to blame? That is a good question. Is it feminism? To a level of it, modernization of the laws, you could say feminism has played a part, but it is not the causation. I would say the causation of this is simply put, government. The control for people, right? Once your numbers get too great, what happens to your farm?
That's why I would not want the government involved, you know, with my relationships or marriages, because the government is going to make it all about the mother being a parent instead of a healthy relationship. it's always like the government is the real father, and I don't like that. And it's like this guy fell victim to that, and it's like all these guys get kicked out of the home for the government, and it's dysfunctional. That's not how things are supposed to be. Government says, all right, baby mama don't want you there. Get out. She has custody of the kids. And the father's like, okay, I guess my kids won't have a father then. Because the mother says she don't want me in the house no more. So I guess maybe I'll see my kids every other weekend, maybe, and that's it. I guess I won't have custody. And they give up. They won't. It's just like these guys don't fight for their kids, for their children. And that includes this guy right here, Alec Fleming, who has children himself. Got kicked out by the baby mom or whoever, and he's living in a car. That's what I kind of felt like he's done. Okay, I guess my kids won't have a father because the mama said she don't want me there no more. So I'll just live in my car, and I miss my kids, but mama said no, government said no. So it's like I wouldn't want to be in a situation like this, but let's go on.
I think of America like a farm for a second. Because, like, you look at animals, and you get too many animals, and you have to cull them down so that way they don't all starve. The government kind of has to look at us in the same way. So in a weird, twisted, perspective here, you could see that war and such is just basically a human version of culling. Because you look at deers, right? Deer hunting season, and we mostly go after the males, but during certain permissible times, you're allowed to shoot a doe as well. Looks like war, just like war. Because, it was so long in our history where women were not allowed to participate. So I thought that was really interesting. There's more to look at in that perspective, but again, the absent father figure, he's working so many hours, and most men actually work a sun up to sundown type of job, so their kids are asleep by the time they get home. And so I just wanted to point that out, that, if that's what's the causation of our shitty culture, then it's best to say it like this. You owe it to yourselves, and you owe it to your sons and daughters to spend every bit of time. Because time is not like currency. You're trading your time for currency, and you're not able to spend it on the things that matter the most.
Facts.
Fact. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to go hang out with my makeshift family. I scored another tent, so I'm going to go give them the tent. A bunch of homeless kids. Like I said before, the ages are 17 through 26. There's a couple people who are a lot older too, a couple 40-year-olds too, but they don't hang out as much. But this is my misfit family, I give them tents, and they seem to do a lot better with it, individually. But this is a large multi-person tent, so I'm just going to give it to them as a group and see what happens. So with that being said, that concludes this deep thought about the father figure, because I'm not gonna lie, I deeply miss my children. I really miss them.
But mama and government say you can't see your children, so you're not going to see your children, and they're just not going to have a father. That just sounds weak to me. Honestly, I would fight to see my kids, because I realize that a father is just as important as a mother in the family. Now you can have a father or mother and they can be dysfunctional too. Now he was talking about how not having a mother hurts a child too. It does. Actually, it may hurt a child even more without a good mother figure or abusive mother. No names, no names. Because with a lack of a mother or a lack of a proper mother figure, a boy's going to grow up truly hating women. He's going to hit up probably a serial killer, probably, who knows what type of guy. A guy without a mother figure is, and I'm not talking MGTOW, I'm talking like Arya. Boys who don't grow up for a proper mother figure end up like him. They have no nurturing as they were boys, so they don't have that side to themselves to where they don't have that loving side. They don't love others because they were never loved. They were never nurtured. So they see the whole world as a curse, even though there is still good in the world. Regardless of how bad it may seem, there is still good. But someone who didn't grow up being nurtured doesn't see any good in the world at all. Sees no good. They don't see any nurturing aspects of the world whatsoever because they never had it growing up. So it's probably worse for a boy not to have his mother in a lot of ways. And for my advice to young guys, and one thing I learned about women, because I've been getting calls every 5 minutes, calls and texts. That's why, like I said before, to guys who don't believe me, when I said this last time, I have to have, well, you see that little slit in the middle of that circle right there? That's no interruptions. That has to be on. Because I don't want to dox anybody in my personal life and have their number put out there. That has to be there when I go live on this DU recorder. So it won't be some chick that I'm seeing, her number being shown up and her text messages being shown up while I'm live. For those of you who really believe that I'm just some Urkel and I have no experience with women, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's definitely not true. But anyway, for you guys out there, for you young guys who may consider yourselves as an incel, whatever, who think that you want a girlfriend so bad, I'm going to give you a word of advice. It's best that you don't be an introvert. Don't make that mistake. Don't be a guy who likes to have time to himself. Because one thing women hate, and I'm sure women are going to agree with me, because this is not me dissing women. This is a general statement. One thing women hate more than anything, even more than cheating, is being alone. Women need attention. If a woman does not have a husband, like this guy low-key said that in this video, if a woman does not have a husband, she's going to be seeking other men, probably very, very often. She's going to be very needy. I mean, they're needy in marriages. I know from my father. I would be out with my father and, and my stepmom would be calling him like every 5 minutes, checking on him constantly while she's at work. Women need attention. I know back when I was in high school, I had like little girlfriends and shit. And it would bother me how much they would call me. I'm a private guy. I like time to myself. Like women need attention. Women are kind of like cats in a way. They need attention. A lot of it. So if you're a guy who likes to be by yourself, it's best you don't seek a marriage or a girlfriend. I'm not a word of advice. Word of advice. If you're a guy who's into like saving money like I am, because this my experience with women is they always want to go shopping, they always want to hang out with you, they always want to spend money, yours and theirs. They always want to have a good time with you. And you may not, and if you're, especially if you're a guy who works a lot, you may not be able to please her and see her the way you want to. And I often ignore the women who be calling me like every fucking 5 minutes, texting me every 5 minutes. Okay, because I'm the opposite. You know, I'm not a guy who's controlled by his dick. I was more controlled by my penis when I was in my 20s still. Yes, you know, I was fucking around a lot more, you know, but now I've matured quite a bit. I'm more mellow. And it may not seem like it outside of this roasting because y'all used to just seeing me roast all the time and make parodies and jokes and sometimes even put on wigs to make fun of a crazy female. But like even like I stopped doing stuff like that. Like I'm more mellow now. I want to talk about real shit, but the problem is I can't get anybody to actually listen to it. Hear me angry and dislike by my